Hello everyone. Today we are back with yet another founder story session. We have KC Overseas founders, Nalini Agarwal, co-founder and director KC Overseas, and Prachit Agarwal, head of product KC Overseas. So I'm requesting Nalini ma'am and Prachit Agarwal come online and join us for this webinar. So in next 30-35 minutes, I will try to discover the last 25 years journey of KC Overseas. They started in 1998 from Nagpur, possibly as a Krishna consultant, and today they are one of the largest and growing study abroad consultant. So in next 35 minutes, let's understand from Prachit and Nalini ma'am what really went behind the scene in building up this organization and reaching here. So Nalini ma'am, over to you. Thank you so much for joining us and taking out time today to join this webinar. I'm sure that today we are going back with a lot of learnings, which you guys have been able to learn, discover, and possibly solve a lot of problems in these years. So while ma'am, a lot of people, those who are online today, already are aware what really is KC Overseas about, right? For larger audience, maybe if you can help us to understand or comprehend what is KC Overseas, what's your business model?
Yeah, first of all, thank you, Naveen, for hosting us on this webinar. I would share as much as possible what I can. So KC Overseas is into student recruitment for overseas institutions across 31 countries. We are a 25-year-old organization having operations in 11 countries, and we recruit students through 68 branches, which are primarily in India, South Asia, Southeast Asia, and Africa. We have tie-ups with 750 plus universities across globe. And good point is that more than 60 universities out of these are in the world's top 300 ranking, according to the QS World Ranking 2024. We offer end-to-end services to our students and partners who are looking to studies abroad, right from counseling, search and selection of the universities, selection of the right country, course, and the university for higher studies overseas. We assist them in application processes, get them offer letters, then assist them in their education loans, then visas and all other allied services if they decide to go overseas. So this was a brief.
Wow, so lovely. Yeah. No, thank you so much for this. So ma'am, now there are like almost 8 lakh students might be going from India to abroad every year. 5 years back, it used to be 4 lakhs. But you guys started in 1998. I don't know what used to be number at that point of time. But how and why you started study abroad business in 1998 or 2000s, right? What really motivated you guys to start this journey, or help us to know more about your journey maybe?
Nothing as such, but it all started with a small way. In the year 1998, Naveen, we saw that we were in Nagpur, and we saw that there was no professional firm in central India, in fact, who could assist students for their journey abroad. And so I, along with my husband, started this KC Overseas in a very small way. Initially, I started assisting students for search and selection of universities, then their applications, then their smaller documentations like statement of purpose, recommendations, etc. And initially, I started helping them for US universities. Then we moved out to assist them for UK universities. Simultaneously, we were building our repo with a lot of universities, and we were fortunate enough to get tie-ups with 2 UK universities. And from there, our journey really started. We continued building this organization with trust, integrity, and transparency. And very early, we realized that we have to give a lot of multi-country options to the students because the students don't know about the country options and they would like to explore more. So this was the base of the KC Overseas education, I think. And then we realized that we were in Nagpur, we could not do much. There were not much students going from Nagpur itself. So we decided that we have to have branches across India. And we started assisting students through franchisee branches, students of our selected partners also. And then in 2016, by 2016, we had actually partnered with 500 global universities. And in 2017, we realized that the business is on scale and we have to more grow this business. So we started automating our processes, and we developed our technology platform, coursefinder.ai, and we launched it in 2017. After automation, then gradually we expanded our operations to nearby countries like Nepal, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh. And in 2018, we launched our fintech division, elanloans.com, which helped students for their education loan who wanted to go overseas. And then gradually we moved out to other 10 countries. So this was it.
Wow. And what is your scale, ma'am, in terms of partnership of universities or the employee, the offices or the country in which you are present today?
As I said, we are today actually a multinational organization having 68 branches across 11 countries. And we have team of 900 plus team members who are supporting us in their journey, who are in India and abroad. And we are recruiting students through our offices and a lot of selected quality partners.
So these 900 people are basically working on KC Overseas payroll. These are your employees, helping students basically.
Definitely. These are the counselors, administrators, managers. Yeah.
Wow. And roughly how many of them are in Nagpur? That's a unique case in itself. While we, when we start building
we
the...
have around 700 to 750 team members in Nagpur, another 200 spread across India. And
building a org out of Nagpur, 700 folks walking there and scaling this kind of organizations, which have 500 partners, is really an impressive story. And then I was reading it like you and sir started this as a Krishna consultant, but now the brand name, and in fact, I can see on the screen also, it's a KC Overseas. Like maybe if you have anything to share on that side, or how it got evolved over a period of time.
So there's not much story about the name actually. It is my father-in-law's name actually, and my husband was CA and he was running this Krishna CA company. So we just named it like this. But then we realized that as we are expanding globally, we have to have a global name, and then we changed it to KC Overseas few years back.
Got it. So Prajit, like when exactly you ended up joining the company, right? So while I was going through your profile, I had a lot of interesting fact about you. But for the audience, when exactly you joined KC Overseas and what role you are playing today?
Yeah, so I mean, I formally joined after I graduated in 2019. But I started, I mean, it's my parents' organization, so I was always involved in some sense. Knew a little bit about the business. My father and mother both I've been lucky enough that they've always kept me in the loop, and even told me about both the good and bad, whatever used to happen, financials, etc., which normally parents don't do from early on, right? They hide the facts. And so I've always known what is happening when it is happening. And, both of them have given me a voice, luckily, from very early on, and I've been able to use that. But yeah, formally 2019 is when I joined. I worked, we started to build a platform in early 2018, and which is when I sort of informally started to participate with the platform. I was here for summer breaks, and whatever I could do remotely, I did. And then 2019 I started. My role primarily is I head the product and tech here at KC. We have a wonderful tech team that I head, and we've been building a platform by the name of coursefinder.ai, which we hope that helps different people throughout the industry. And I also look at some other strategic projects in the organization. But that's my role.
Interesting. I must say that I heard about Course Finder from a lot of folks off late about the KC overseas. So I'm sure you must be doing something interesting and people are following you. So double clicking on Prachit, like on your side, on your team side, how big is the team if you can share for the larger audience, if you're comfortable, and what role really apart from Coach Finder tech is playing at KC?
Right. So our tech team is relatively small. It's a 35-40 people team. We like to keep it small. We've purposefully kept it that way. We sort of resonate with the Zerodha story, which has gotten quite popular out there. And we didn't know that we were following the Zerodha path, but we found that we are, and we found at least one other company that was similar to us, keeping the tech team small. Otherwise, with investments and stuff like that, people generally ramp up the tech team first. So we like to do that. We work with a lean team, but yeah, that's the size of the team. And role of technology has been very pivotal in the growth and success of our organization in the past few years. We've been able to streamline our processes, reduce our inefficiencies, human errors that used to happen before technology was used. And most of all, we've been able to reach out to a lot more students and partners globally, right? And, we've been able to scale our operations out of India. Primarily, we were initially at one point of time only in India, and now we're in 10 more countries other than India in Southeast Asia, South Asia, and Africa. And technology has played a key part in that, right? Because to be able to sort of do business over country borders is very difficult, and having a local team definitely helps, but technology has been a key factor in that, right? And we've at the end of the day, we are committed to our university partners, right? That's what makes this business successful. So with our technology and platform, we've been able to ensure that we provide the highest level of quality by making sure we only send high quality applications, verified applications to the universities. So that's been another area where technology has really helped. Obviously, scale, reaching out to more people, helping partners, reducing pain points in the industry have all been areas where technology has really played a pivotal role.
Interesting. So Prachit and ma'am, maybe anyone of you can answer, right? So I was going through, and if I'm not wrong, KC Overseas is self-funded. You sir started, and then eventually a lot of people joined over a period of time. But there are a lot of companies, those who are very, very heavily funded in this competition, in this space, if I say so, and more of late because the numbers are growing. It's in limelight. Every second day we are getting a headline in the newspaper about the study abroad. How easy or how hard it was for you, or it is for you, to build and scale with self-funding without relying, and especially when your competition is so heavily funded? What kept you apart in general?
Sure, I'll take that. I think it's a common question in any industry, right? Whether you want to stay bootstrapped or take on investors, and I don't think the either approach is bad. I mean, do what you should to make your company successful. But at the end of the day, the point is to help your customers, right? To help the students reach their dream institutions, right? And what I've only seen my parents do it. I wasn't involved in the business then, right? But what helped us is being in Nagpur, keeping our costs low. That was a tremendous way to achieve it. And initially there was less competition in the industry. We were early entrants, so you could still produce that high quality of service and output by keeping your costs low and making sure that you focus on quality of service and not how much money you're pumping in the business, right? And so that now by God's grace, we've been doing well. We've been helping a lot of students, and that's keeping the wheels running. So that is there. But either way is good according to me. Whatever floats your boat.
No, I'm sure. So on that note, Prachit, you also touched upon, right, and ma'am also spoke about that, right? Building trust, and that is in fact the theme of today's webinar also. When we are talking about the study abroad, what really matter is, as a student, it's at the end of the trust, whether you are selling me a university or you are connecting me a right partner or you are guiding me properly or not. Because every day we also read a lot of news about wrong selling, wrong visas, wrong fraud university, and so on. So at KC, like, what really and how exactly you guys have been able to strike that code and build that trust? Because it's not easy, right? At the end of the day, it's a business at the end of the day, right? We are private companies. We have been doing that. Everyone is doing that. We are in game of building while enabling students. We also have to make money. How easy or hard it was for you to kind of build and skill trust for the students, ma'am?
Trust and credibility, as I earlier also said, were actually the core values of KC Overseas. So from the day one, actually, we have tried and imbibed this in every single team member of ours, right from the my husband CEO to whomsoever a smaller counselor in our organization knows that whatever we are doing has to be very simple, very transparent, and is to be very visible to all our stakeholders. I think keeping our operations very simple and transparent, that is really helping us to build our brand also. And we have a very high quality verification systems and high quality, because we are dealing with the careers of the lives, lives of the student now. So we have got a very high quality, genuine processes at our end, which is really helping us to gain the trust of universities as also. And I think our 25 years of experience and what we have brought to this organization is more organized structure for the industry also, actually. So partners really believe on us and they trust us in every dealing we do with them.
Got it. And ma'am, the student which you are counseling, right? So is it online? Is it offline? What is the ratio? Or without talking the numbers, maybe if you can help us, how a student can reach KC Overseas? How do you counsel?
We have multiple ways where we do everything, actually. We normally, all through all physical branches, the student is counseled physically only. Even if we are referring to a partner also, the student is counseled physically only, actually. The partners are counseling the student. In that chain, actually, we are helping the partner to counsel the student. We might not be doing it directly, but we are helping the partner to directly counsel. So mostly I would say it is physical only in our case.
Well, we do have the channel of online counseling as well. A student can go to our website and our platform and book an appointment through online counseling, and we have that channel as well.
And Prachit, when these students are reaching through any mode, through partner, direct, indirect, online, offline, typically, what do you see? How many or what percentage of these students really come prepared, or they just come and explore and then decide, typically?
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole spectrum of students, right? I mean, to starting from a person or a student who just has this idea or even just wants to explore what an education in an abroad country looks like, right? From there to, we also have students who know, okay, this is the institution I want to go, and can you please just help me apply to this institution, right? There's a whole spectrum of students, but majority of people come to us, with an idea that they've either seen some of their friends, relatives go abroad, they've explored a little bit, done a little bit of research on the internet, and they know that education in an abroad country will help their career prospects. So at least that they have in mind, they have that idea in mind, right? And what they come to us or any other consultant is for understanding that how education is going to be in that country. Is that the right country for them? Can they apply to multiple countries? And then eventually, what institution should they apply to? What can they do better in their profile? What is the process? And then eventually the execution part as well, right? Like how to execute, how to finalize applications, how to get visa, all of that.
Got it. So meanwhile, I can see a question on the screen. Maybe I can pick this. So what is leading to increase in the number of students those who are going to abroad? And that's rightly, of course, Prasad, and ma'am, as we are aware, you are into that business. The question is why there is an increase in number of the students going abroad.
Right. So, so I'll take that. And, there are a couple of reasons for why that is happening year on year, right? We've been seeing a growing trend in people going abroad. Primarily, it is because of the rising middle class, the aspiring middle class in the country. A lot more people are focusing towards the education of their kids. Parents want the best for their child, and and now most people have the money to do it. And even if they don't have the money, education loans have become a lot more easier to get and affordable. So that's also helping in a big way to help kids finance their education. And secondly, the rate at which we have our student population, there is certainly a lack of comparable education institutions in India, which can suffice the need for a growing population, student population. So that is also a primary reason for why students are looking to study abroad, and eventually career prospects as well.
Got it. Got it. And Prachit, you also spoke about course finder. Maybe for everyone understanding, if you can help us to know what really is course finder.
Right. Well, coursefinder.ai is the name of our platform. It's a tech platform that we came out with in early 2018. I can, if you want, I can take through the broad core features of Coursefinder.
Yeah, maybe go ahead.
Yeah, and and by this broad core features, I'll be able to also explain how we help a student or a user end to end throughout the study abroad process. So starting with counseling, we have our search experience, right? So using our search experience, anybody can search across 80,000 odd courses across our 750 institutions across 31 countries. So that's a sizable number of courses to search across. We have a suite of filters to narrow these search results down, because at the end of the day, you can only apply to 5 to 10 universities as a student, right? We also have a unique eligibility filter in the search experience that lets you search the appropriate courses for a particular student. So by entering the profile of the student, right? So that's the search. I mentioned about online counseling. We do that as well in the platform. We have an application engine that lets any student fill the profile, upload the documents, apply to multiple courses across multiple universities in one single go. So that's the main benefit, that they are able to do that all in one application. Right. We have a lot of value-added services, which we think is sort of a USP of our platform, right? Because other than core applications and counseling, a student needs education loan, accommodation options, forex, visa services, maybe flight tickets, etc. So we have that integrated through vendors into our platform. So you can pay for your tuition fees and application fees right through the platform. You can look at accommodation options. You can start the process and speak to a counselor for education loan. So we have our own integration. We have a brand name called as Elan Loans, through which we do the education loans, education service. So that is also integrated into Coursefinder. Yeah, so that's
very, very interesting. And is this public for any student? Like, or do I have to pay for this kind of service to access and then put a filter or search and find the best fit for me?
No, it is public. Students can go and take use of a lot of our services on our website, through which they can, and at the back end is the platform, and partners can sign up with us as a partner and use the platform. So so it is public. There's no fee. It's completely, except our coaching services, it is completely free for students.
Got it. So you are saying, Prachit, it's just not about pinning down and identifying a university or get counsel for a university, but you handle student or the partners per se, post identifying or applying foundation, or possibly applying for a loan through various partners on the same platform.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, the journey of the student is not just over after we help them identify the right set of universities, right? They have to be able to apply to them. They'll be able to get the offers. They should be able to get the successful visas, pay the tuition fees, get an education loan, unless if they need one, because unless they won't be able to go get all other allied services as well. And then finally, successfully, then only a student can reach that institution in that country, right? So unless we as people who can help in the journey don't do that, was the point. So we make sure we try our level best that we provide all the services that a student might need to study abroad on a single platform, which makes it easier for them to also not go to different companies to take the services.
Correct. So there is an interesting question on the screen. While the question is mostly about tier 2 and tier 3, maybe I can reframe it. What percentage of students, or do you see a student from even Nali ma'am, from non-metro cities going abroad? So maybe if it's not about specific numbers, anything like, do you see a trend of people going from tier 2, tier 3 below cities for the study abroad markets?
You had a question that how India, more students now have started going. So basically they've started going from tier 2 and tier 3 only. It's not only from the metros, and that's how our story also started, that we believe that tier 2 cities and tier 3 cities need these services because they are also willing to go abroad. They need to have the reach of some help where a counselor can really help them to make their dreams come true. So whatever has happening in India, as Prachesh said, is middle class people, that level increasing in India, and that is why most growth in India is happening from tier 2 cities and tier 3 cities.
Got it. Interesting. And you are saying that their affordability and paying power is increasing, or maybe possibly
Yes.
they are also taking a route of loans and various
Yes.
factors, right?
And that's what Course Finder is also happening. No, so what services they used to have in Metro earlier, now the CourseFinder.ai could reach to someone who is remotely in Kerala, seeing that same service, same everything on a CourseFinder.ai, have that kind of same experience and just do that. So that is actually helping. Yeah.
Got it. Interesting. So there is a question around a market. Maybe let me take, and you can decide to answer or not on this. What is your vision about Africa? There are many emerging opportunities in African education market. What is your approach for entering? So maybe you can talk about your presence in Africa, or what's your approach for African market? Because it seems that's also a growing market. Any comment, any take on that, ma'am? Or present?
We have already gone to Africa. We are there in Nigeria, Kenya, and Ghana. We have started our operations there. Our team is already working there, assisting students over there. So, currently, I think the only challenge in Nigeria and Ghana is they are all willing to go, but they need a lot of help because the resources don't reach to them rightly. So there also our trust and branding of the company is really helping us to grow over there, because they are believing that someone who is trusted can really help us. And the other point is there is some education loan issue, what we are trying to resolve, tying up with education loan companies who can give these students an education loan over there.
Got it. And then in terms of KC overseas next 3-4 years, there's a question again from participant, right? How do you see KC overseas over the next 3-4 years with the market also growing in? So what's your roadmap? What's your plan? Maybe. I don't know if someone from your competition
Yes, yeah, we are already excited.
And looking for the secret sauce, maybe.
Yeah, last couple of years it has been an exciting for us that we are already growing, and we want to keep that. We want to enter new markets. Still, we already in 10 markets, but then we want to go into newer markets, explore them, give them the same services. And India also we want to grow, because there is sudden surge of applicants going to studies overseas. So we are building our team also. We are building our technology also to help out this growth, what is happening. And we are sure that what with 25 years of experience we have built actually will be able to scale up and support this need which has grown in India.
So it seems Prachap joined at the right time in scaling and helping to build the backbone for the company. So there is a question, and if I understood correctly, the question is, how do you fulfill the contract requirement, and how do you manage all the university and program on Course Finder? So if the question is right, how do you fulfill the requirement of the university at one side, and how do you manage the data on the course finder? Possibly, if I'm not reading it wrong. Prashant, ma'am.
Right. So the universities are very clear with what they need our help with, right? They need our help with recruiting students for them from international markets, and they want to make sure that we are responsible. We provide them high quality applications and students, and we verify things, taken ownership, and we are extremely careful in doing that. We think that is our value add to these universities, and we have very strict and cohesive and elaborate processes to make sure that everything is valid, applications are high quality, the student is actually meant for that university. How we do the data management or course finder, which was the second question, is we have a substantial data team that checks and double checks and makes sure that every university is properly updated on course finder. And it's not a one-time job, you have to continuously do it, right? Because sometimes course details or university details change every intake, annually they change. So we continuously have a data team which is segregated by geographies. We have a data team specific to US, we have a data team specific to Australia, we have a data team specific to UK that makes sure and focus on all the universities in that market that we represent, and make sure that down to the level of the course, each course in that university, proper data is updated. We've made it very simple for our data teams to be able to update data, albeit very securely, and make sure that there is no leakage of data on Course Finder by building the right infrastructure for admin purposes as well. And that is what helps us to make sure that our data is accurate, consistent, and secure on Course.
Got it. Interesting. And Prashant, on double clicking on this, like, do you verify the student documents also before passing to the university? A student, because you are collecting student applications and the documents. So do you verify also in some sense? Is there any mechanism?
I'll take this question.
Yeah,
So we're very
yeah.
stringent in verification of our documents, because that's what university needs, and that's the basic job of ours to do it. So we have 3-4 stages verification system what we follow. So we have to verify academic documents. We have a complete team which verifies each application what we process. The first thing is to verify the academic documents, the mark sheets, the transcripts, everything, the essays for plagiarism, what they write, the recommendations, etc. And then the financial verification doc. We have a facility with ICICI Bank where we can go actually and give the financial document to the bank and see that whether it is being verified, whether the account is there existing or not. So that system is completely follow. And then the English language proficiency scores, which are prevalent in market, which are not valid. So we have those portals where we can check the authenticity of these documents, and we are very strict, as Prajit has said, that on all these processes.
Oh, interesting. So we are towards the last leg of the webinar. It seems we are left with 4 minutes. I take one more question, ma'am. Yeah. KC Overseas, and that's my personal question maybe. So yeah. KC Overseas is a popular brand now. You are just not a brand sitting out of Nagpur the way you were operating in 10 years back, possibly, or 15 years back. And the second is, the competition is also rising. Do you think you guys have to do something fundamentally different than what you have been doing to meet the requirement of increasing requirement of the students, or the competition, or to ramp up, or to scale?
What makes us different from our competitors? There are 3 to 4 things I would really say this. First is our 25 years of experience, I would say. The credibility, what we bring to the business, the knowledge, what we bring, because right in my team, I have people who are 10-year-old product knowledge, 15-year-old, 20-year-old. So that is really making the difference. And the multi-country option, what we brought in way back, is really helping the students, because today also the student doesn't need to be only, they don't know when they are applying that whether they have to go to US or UK or any other European country. That's, as a counselor, we need to tell them. And the other is obviously the technology, what we have brought in. We are trying to be continuously updating it. And that is what is the change, what you asked, from so many years back to right now, because then we used to update everything in Excel and used to remember them, and each counselor used to be hardened every morning with the product knowledge. But that is not happening now. It is very easy with the help of technology, actually. And the third point is the regional managers and the local team which are available in every market to support the students and the partners. That is really making a difference.
Interesting. And ma'am, any remark for the startup guys, so the people those who are trying to build and aim to build in study abroad segment? You have seen all. So
I would say
what advice you are going to give to them?
Yeah, I would say that we have to first invest in the team, because the team is something which really takes us forward. We have to hire the right team, nurture the talent, keep them retained with us. And then obviously the technology is the another way, because every process now needs technology. So we have to change ourselves, adapt ourselves to the technology, what is there in the market. And third, obviously, the business ethics, I would say. As I said, that we've been very transparent in the way we work, and that really helps every stakeholder, brings trust to the business, and everybody can really believe on that. That would be my. And the third would be, any study abroad consider they should look at digital marketing channels also, because that's what is the need of the hour, and they need to be, whomsoever is wanting to reach to many students have to be constructively using this digital marketing channels so that they can reach to more students. Yeah.
Got it. Thank you so much, Nalini ma'am, Prachit, for taking out time for this webinar. For everyone, it's like when I discovered KC Overseas, I was really surprised the way KC evolved glamour, away from hustle, away from metro cities. Behind the scene, they have been able to build it. And the ma'am, which ma'am was also stressing out, the study abroad segment is just not about a fancy business, but about the trust and credibility which they have been able to build over a period of time, the relationship which KC have been able to develop, which is actually helping possibly a KC when they are kind of moving from an offline style to a traditional, more digital, more online, more tech-driven approach. Thank you so much, ma'am. I'm going back with a lot of learnings. I hope we are able to justify the times of audience. They have also learned something and going to build a credible business. See you again, everyone, with yet another founder series, maybe in few weeks down the line. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Naveen, for having us. Thank you.